shout out to memes. Somebody thinks I'm hating on memes. Um, I know that I'm sort of ambivalent towards memes.
Right.
But
I love the idea of meme coins, but I'll just say this: like after a while, right? It's like, okay, I want to actually be able to work with something that's
or do something
more than just a pump and dump.
Can I give you my take on memes? Meme
Yeah,
coins?
go ahead. Go for
Yeah.
it.
So Richard likes to say the only people that make money in crypto are founders and hodlers. I actually think Richard's wrong about that. I think the only people that make money in crypto are founders and people that are very close to founders, right? And that's especially true in the meme coin game. So basically, if you want to make money in meme coins, you probably need to be the originator of the meme coin or of the scam, or super, super close to that person. Because it's very easy for those people to basically start with a very low market cap, zero market cap, and push it to infinity, and advertise 100x return. I could do that in like literally 10 minutes, like with Bud Light coin, like you said. But the problem with that is it's probably unethical or immoral to kind of be one of these people. So personally, it's not something I want to be involved with. But if you're not one of these people, then you're probably the sucker. And I know that a lot of you think you're making money, but on average, you're not. Is the reality? On average, it's the guy that's originating the thing that makes all the money, and you're probably going to end up with something pretty illiquid, where you're massively down. But maybe now and then you get your exit right, or you get lucky. But I think most of those returns are not actual useful returns that you could put real adult money in and get. That 100.
That's a big one.
I was gonna say, in a way, it's Russian roulette when you look at it that way.
Yeah,
like it's worse than Russian roulette, because at least in Russian roulette you live 5 out of 6 times. In this case,
because like
chamber, but yeah,
because I had people asking me why I didn't put more money into Pepe, because like the original Pepe coin, the one on Ethereum, right? Like I made a bunch of X's on that one, and people were asking me, Miguel, why didn't you put like a bunch of, like, who the fuck in their right mind would put like 25-50% of their fucking portfolio in a fucking meme coin, right? And like I put a decent amount of, I put like a couple grand into it, and it turned into 6 figures. But how would I have known? Like even me liking all these memes and stuff, like how the hell would I have known enough to put 100 unless I was a part of the fucking scam, or I knew it was a part of, that's the thing. I wasn't. Like that's the whole. I just like, this could go viral. Here, I'll take a shot on it, and it went viral. But that's a big distinction that you said that was correct. That a lot of the times the guys who got it, like there was a bunch of people minting certain coins when they were dirt cheap for no reason. Weird. Right.
Yeah, and the other key nuance there is you said $1,000, right? Like, that might be a lot of money to you if you're 20 years old, but when you're 30 or you're 40, or whatnot, and you're now sitting on a portfolio that's in the millions, you actually need to start to invest, really $100,000 at a time, right? To make it worth your energy, right? And there's really not that many things out there, in that space where you can actually put that kind of money to work and actually be liquid, right?
Right.
So that's a big difference between that space and running something like a like a GMX fork like Fame or an Aave fork, is that people put real money into that. There was a guy that put $1 million into Fame. He's now up like probably 2x. Right. There was a guy that put like almost $700,000 into fiat. He's up many multiples. And he basically DMs me every day to say how thankful he is. Right. So, that's the more grown up world of investing. And that's not just crypto, that's everything. Right. But the meme coin game is naturally it's basically similar to the lottery ticket game. It expresses this idea of the potential for massive upside, but it's actually only theoretical, nominal massive upside that you're not going to be able to put in real grown up money and actually change your life on it. That's just the reality. in it. And in general, these things basically die after 6 days. This is B Roots' rule. A few of them go a bit longer. That's pretty rare. Pepe is probably an example of that this cycle. But
there are exceptions there are exceptions if they're big enough and stuff, like the Pepe on Ethereum or Shiba Inu or Dogecoin and stuff.
Yeah, but Ethereum has a much
exactly
fledged ecosystem.
Exactly,
that liquidity is there for people to go into versus a brand new chain.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was just talking about there's only a couple of those a cycle where like you could like someone said in the chat earlier, by the time, let's just say on the Pulse chain, by the time there's there's enough liquidity for you to put $100,000 into it, we won't totally spike the price. The pump's over already, right? Yeah.
You're the exit liquidity. And so that's a kind of a key thing to consider with this is the size of it, of what you're trying to put in. I don't like meme coins because I'm not willing to create them or promote them myself, and because therefore I have no edge, right? That's the reality. If whereas other things that actually produce real cash flows and have real intrinsic value that makes sense, that actually is something that you can invest grown up sums of money in and do well. There's always some broke ass person who's saying, "Oh, I made 100x off of $5." Okay, so you made $500, man. Like I probably spend that much, like, on like my fucking groceries every week.
I've lost more of that in the Bellagio than.
I definitely lost. I lost $1,700 at the casino this week, as a matter of fact. Like $500 isn't going to change my life. Like that's the problem, right? And so when you're a young guy starting out, you've only got like $10 to your name. So you think that this is the right way to invest, but the reality is that as you get richer, you're going to need to kind of look for real things. And meme coins, they're not really doing it most of the time.
Now, this is always taken out of context too, because like the people, like even though I'd like Eric Wall, but like Eric Wall said this about Hex, about like, oh, there's only so many people who got the 10,000x at the bottom of the market with Hex. But it doesn't matter because enough people got economic mass when the price was low that they still got these huge multiples. Like, and I keep explaining this to guys, like, because guys ask me all the time, like, where can I get in the next 100,000? Not the next 10,000x or 1,000x. Like, dude, you don't know if you actually have a decent portion of your portfolio in a coin that does a 300x. You know how life changing that is. That is a substantial amount of growth. If you have 10% of your portfolio in a coin that you believe in, and it does a 300x. You 30x the portfolio. Nuts. Current value. It's incredible. Like, and this is why I know like a lot of people don't know anything about money at all, because they just don't understand numbers like at all. Like how much, like when you get your first 100,000, how life changing that is. Like people are like, I want to get to that first million. I mean, especially when you're young, that first $100,000 that you have liquid in the bank is like life changing. So you don't got to worry about like going out anymore. You like the food, like outside of just something ridiculous purchase, like life is like kind of on auto at that point. And then you can actually like start focusing on business or on something, or getting out of debt basically.
Definitely. And I think there's a lot of young people as well in this industry that do need the ability to come up and basically better their lives. And so I would say informing those people about how to do that in a way that's sustainable for when they do hit those numbers to 600 or sorry, like 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, kind of letting people know like, okay, yeah, you can play around with that right now, you can make a little bit of money there, but that's not where you're going to make your money long term. Where you're really going to make your money long term is sustainable growth over actual assets. And so think 2 steps ahead instead of just for today. And I think if you get people in that mindset, then that gives them the ability to actually create wealth instead of just getting rich over one cycle, which we see a lot of people in crypto getting rich in one cycle, fucking off, losing it all, coming back, getting rich again, spending it all, coming back. And they just basically are Sisyphus, right? They're coming over here and just continuing to roll that rock. Whereas if you create a base layer of not only knowledge, but then, growth with coins that actually are going to be here long term.
Right.
That's where you can actually get wealthy.
Like I've known a ton of guys that either should have made millions or made millions, and are back working again.
Yeah.
Like, dude, and there's nothing wrong with if you like what you do, but I knew these guys do not like what they do, and they went back to work. That's crazy to me. Like, insane. So, that was some good nuggets. I mean, we're gonna clip that out, you guys. That was some solid stuff on meme. And I totally, it's a free market, and I actually like meme, especially if you don't have a lot of money, you want to like speculate a little bit. That's fine. Go ahead. I mean, that's totally okay. But it just there comes a point in time when you're playing around with a certain amount of capital that it becomes sort of very not just dangerous and dumb unless you're in on the grift, basically.